First, when I started, I didn't know that much about the Holocaust. As I gradually started learning, I was curious to know which countries gained power and which ones lost. Now, I would say this experience was unforgettable. This poster was put up around 1930 to 1931. It clearly portrays the Germans struggling due to poverty. This asks them to vote for Hitler, who will resolve all their problems. This picture was taken in Nuremberg rally in 1934. It was when Adolf Hitler was giving his speech. More than 700,000 people watched. All the people were impressed, and they felt like he was talking to them individually. In this picture, the Jewish kids are being discriminated by the Germans. They were not allowed to go to the same school as the German kids. However, the German kids seem to be very happy about this because they have been misled by the Nazi education. For Hitler, teaching the young German kids about Nazi education was important so that they would grow up to be part of the Nazi army. And all of this was easy because young children could be easily manipulated. This was when the German boycotts ordered not to buy anything from the Jews. After this, the Jews' businesses became unstable and soon collapsed. The red spot on this map shows either extermination camps or labor camps. At first, there were a very few of these. Then it started spreading rapidly. These shoes were worn by the Jews who suffered in concentration camps. It's not just the shoes we're talking about. It's also about the massive amount of people who were tortured and killed in concentration camps. The Swing Kids was a remarkable movie. It was about the choices they had to make just to survive, to live their life. This picture clearly explains how powerful the Nazi Party was. Since the Jews weren't as powerful as the Nazis, they couldn't do anything to defend themselves. Not just the Jews they had control of. They had control of the Germans too. They made sure no German could read anything against the Nazi Party. The White Rose was a group of non-violent people against Hitler and the Nazi Party. They were a group of students from the University of Munich and their philosophy professor. But now, in Germany, they are known as heroes who stood up knowing they could be executed by Hitler. A long time ago, this was the site where there was a concentration camp, where Jews were tortured. They were gassed, they were burned alive, they were shot to death. These are all the nasty things they did. After showing their dominance, by killing almost the whole Jewish race, Hitler committed suicide, and most of the German officers were caught, but some managed to escape. This is an article published first in the newspaper, New York Times, on December 15, 1915. The main cause of the genocide was because the Turkish needed a scapegoat as their empire collapsed. The genocide was affected by the factors outside their country, such as World War I. 1.5 million people were killed. Cambodia genocide was similar to the Nazi Party. Anyone who was educated was put to death because they did not want to hear anything against them. And also Khmer Rouge wanted everyone to be equal. 1.4 million people were killed in this genocide. Very similar to the Holocaust is the Rwanda genocide. The mass murder was estimated around 800,000 people. It was a conflict between Hutus and Tutsis. The genocide groups were not organized. They were caused by racial hatred. And since the Hutus were more powerful, they blamed their president's death on the Tutsis. Personally, I think this is a very important lesson to be learnt so that we don't repeat it in the future. It is useful because you can compare the past and the present right now, if we've improved or not. The main point to realize is that dominance and violence isn't the solution to everything.